It's good to see you. I must go. I know I will go. Anyway, I'll
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat!
He's an interesting guy, man, and, you know, he believes it, so. Kyrie, the earth is flat, right? Yeah. So, whatever.
That's news.
That's news. There we go.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently at war with the mainstream scientific community. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is hovering over New York, monitoring the latest mainstream feeds from companies like Newsweek, who have already been talking about the Flat Earth Conference happening this summer in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and this fall in Denver, Colorado. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, then you are not very good at the internet. For those of you listening to this on YouTube and you want to hear the show live as it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And if it is not March 6th, 2018, then it is a rerun. So check your local listings at Truth Frequency Radio, otherwise known as TFRlive.com. Quote of the day from the Peanut Gallery is, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existence. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery each day." And that's from Albert Einstein. A couple quick announcements. First off, the Canadian Flat Earth Conference was just recently announced. It will be August in Edmonton, Canada. I will be attending. I don't know the full list of everyone that's going to be there, so I don't have a promo out for it, but I've got a promo template already built on this machine right here, so I'm just waiting for the list, and once I get that out there, I'll let you guys know. But I believe it's going to be in the middle of August, so look it up. If you don't know where Edmonton is in Canada, look it up. It's in Alberta, if I'm not mistaken. Quick shout out to the chat room in Zulu's simulcast. So hope you guys are having a great time. I know I am. All Flat Earth challenges have been suspended on my side except for one, which is the Mark Sargent Flat Earth Challenge. This is my personal declaration of war from Flat Earth against mainstream science. I, Mark Sargent, hereby put forth a challenge to any university, foreign or domestic, to debate or discuss the Flat Earth reality. The short version is this: you fly me in, Take care of my hotel, and I'll face down any scientific body you put against me. My only debate requirement is that you have someone with a master's degree in physical science either participating in or supervising the event. Accept this challenge, and you will be treated with respect. If not, then you're just cowards hiding behind empty equations. Special thank you, by the way, to everyone that was involved in the Colorado Springs meetup, which I just got back from last night. Flew in very late. Caught the last flight from Salt Lake City back to Seattle. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for flying me out. And anyone else is going to do a meetup, you want me to attend? Sure. Hey, great. And I'm not picky. I stayed at a motel down in Colorado Springs. I even picked it. It was something. Quite a motel. Let me tell you, I was lucky to get soap, but I'm not gonna rap on them. Look, a motel is what you think it's gonna be. Let's see what else we got. This was normally going to be a subject matter expert show, but the Air Force guy that I was going to have tonight is getting a little bit of cold feet. He's thinking it over, which is fine. I'll rattle off the list of people. Everybody on this list, I'm going to rattle off. Quite a few of them had to think it over. They just weren't sure. And several of them had to come in anonymously, and other people had me read a statement. In fact, I met a great Navy guy when I was down at the Springs. He came up to me during the presentation, during our break, and he said he had a lot of cool things to say, and he had some unique things from the Navy side. He was dealing with some high-end electronic stuff with radar, and so I'm trying to get a statement from him. Great. Hopefully I can get him. I might be able to get him to come on the show anonymously with his normal voice, as long as I don't drop his name. But who have I had so far? I've had a United States Navy missile instructor, an Air Force navigator, a Marine Corps sniper instructor, a Navy submarine chief, an Army artillery radar operator, an Australian intelligence officer, an American flight instructor, an industrial engineer specializing in valves and seals, a career surveyor of 32 years, an international shipping expert, a corporate travel agent, an air traffic controller, United States Army master gunner, aviation and ground training combat expert, USDA I always jam up on that one. USDA surveyor of 27 years, 32nd degree Mason, an etheric science researcher, a commercial airline captain, a commercial airline co-pilot, an industrial vacuum expert, a merchant marine, an Army air traffic controller, and a U.S. Navy quartermaster. Pretty cool, huh? If you want to chime in, you're part of one of these groups, or if you think you've got a unique take on the whole flat Earth concept, think you want to add to it, by all means, give me a call, or you can email me at msargent23@comcast.net. And again, you can come after it, come against these guys. So if you're part of the armed forces, and you say, "Oh, your Navy guy's a piece of crap," and here's why, I'd love to hear. But we've been doing the subject matter experts for over 2.5 years. Haven't gotten a single person against them. Phone number to call in. I know we got some calls already waiting, but I got to give out the numbers real quick. Phone number to call in is 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Or the other number works just as well, 720-897-6111. That's 720-897-6111. The UK number is 44-203-393-2871. And the number you want to call if you just want to listen through your phone and you don't want to show up on my list so I accidentally pick you up, is 641-793-7117. Because what usually happens is all of a sudden, I hit the button and they're listening through their phone. It's like, "Oh, you're on live with Strange World," and they freak out and they hang up. So let's get right to it, shall we? First number on the docket is going to be from Washington, D.C., it looks like. Then we'll probably go to Beverly Hills. Then we'll probably go to California after that. So 202 area code. 202 area code. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mark. So, you know what? I just want to go ahead and try to listen to the first segment. This is Tiffany.
Okay.
Long walking across this big old plain.
Okay. All right.
I will.
I'll put you back on mute so you
can
listen. No worries.
Yeah, I want to listen. I want to listen to the content. Okay.
Okay. I'll put you on mute.
I'll be here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And there's the phone number, guys. In case you don't want that to happen to you, it's 641-793-7117. Just so you know. You know what? Let's jump over to Beverly Hills, California. I think I know who this is going to be. Beverly Hills, 310. What's up?
Hey, Mark. Andy. We don't have Ross tonight, just Andy from Beverly Hills.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man? So the thing that got me thinking in the past few weeks that I've been thinking about is, well, man, you know how they say that, like, there were people that were back in like the late 1400s, 1500s, they were getting persecuted for saying that the earth was a ball, right?
Yeah.
By the church.
Yeah.
Getting persecuted, right? I just find it hard to believe that. I mean, where's the records of the guy who's literally putting his head on the chopping block of the globe? You know, it's like, where's that guy? I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey,
that anyone got killed, that anyone put their life on the line for the globe, you know?
Exactly. What? Yeah. How many people are going to defend the what?
I'm just not buying it, especially when it was such a new idea anyway.
Right. Hey, if Peanut Gallery's listening, this is the second call. It's coming in. It's coming in a little choppy. Can anyone confirm or deny that? That I'm hearing a little popping on my side. I may have to drop the call-in line. And that's okay. That's right. The call seems a little robotic. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why. It's not you guys. It's the station. But I may. Yeah. Yep. They are choppy. I'll pick up a couple more.
I can hear you perfectly, just for the record.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I don't like it to be one-sided. So no worries though.
Yeah.
What else do you want to throw at me real quick? I'll compensate the best I can.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean,
that was it. That's all you got.
There's no record.
All right.
Because I don't have Ross. I only got half the team. I don't know where Ross is, man.
Where's he?
I don't know.
What do you guys? What does the average Beverly Hills person do? You know, we all see the television shows, and we think you pretty much don't do much. So
we just live in this little bubble inside of this giant city called Los Angeles, basically.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Isn't like Los Angeles? Los Angeles is such a fascinating city anyway because it's so spread out. It's like if you took your hand on top of New York City and you just squished it, and all the people, spread out to all the farthest edges of New York. It's just massive.
That's
I remember
true, man.
flying into to Los Angeles is always weird because it's like, oh yeah, we're on final approach to Los Angeles, and sometimes approaches can last 10 minutes or so. And we're flying over swimming pools and houses and houses and houses. I'm just like, wow, you never get used to how many swimming pools you fly over on your way into to land at the airport. But you're absolutely strange.
That's true, man. They got us all squished into these. It's starting to feel like a really big city lately because there's just so many damn people. Out here.
Yeah.
Starting to feel like New York a little bit. It's getting a little intense.
Yeah. Well, no, you guys will never be like New York. Trust me. Nothing against New York, but I did phone support for a number of years, and you could literally plot a graph on the tension level and stress of people starting from the East Coast working. We loved getting calls from California. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't mind being on hold. That's fine, man. Everyone was so laid back compared to New York. It's like I was on hold for 15 seconds. I'm gonna take it out in a pound of flesh on you guys. Let me talk to you. Honestly, it was like, let me talk to your supervisor was their default setting, and it drove me insane.
Yeah, because it's 9 degrees outside.
Well, no, I mean, New York people, especially Manhattan. I mean, it's so concentrated. It's contagious. People. It moves from the energy moves through everybody, and so everybody's like, "Hey, you asshole!" What do you mean, me? And they just, oh my god. But anyway, all right.
Speaking of weather, check this out. It was a summer day. I'm telling you, it was the coldest week. I'm telling you, here in LA, I've lived here my whole life, 30 years. I just turned 30 years old like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've lived here my entire life. And this, for the last 2 weeks, this is the coldest 2 weeks stretch I ever remember in my life. And it got down to about 45 every night. which is the coldest I've ever seen it get down to. And then all of a sudden today, it's 85 freaking degrees. It's a summer day. Like, I don't know, man. Someone just flipped the switch.
It is a weird, I don't doubt it.
No sense. I mean, you can't justify that.
No,
There's
no, you can't.
justifying it being the coldest 2 weeks, and then it's summer. Now it's a summer day. Like,
Although the mainstream media will try to.
What do you think's doing that though? What do you think?
I think that's probably HARP backlash. I've always said that though, which is, look, if you use any artificial means to try to control an already artificial system, like an enclosed, pressurized system like this,
I see.
That system is going to compensate to try, and when it's doing that, it's going to do some weird stuff. Like, for example, let's say you created, well, I'll use the car reference. You bring in a propane lantern into a backseat of a car. Well, while the car is already running, the air conditioning system's running, that car is going to try to compensate for what you're doing in the back seat, and it's going to do it in a way that it was never designed to do it. And so it'll create some weird hot and cold pockets all over the place. And, multiply that by a lot. So if you use, say, a HARP system to, I don't know, create a tropical storm somewhere to bring rain, either for constructive or destructive purposes, the system is going to have to compensate for that energy some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good analogy. I like that one. That's good because, man, I'm telling you, it's like they just started to cook. And every time this happens, there's always a lot of chemtrail activity buildup leading up to a weird days like this, where it's just all of a sudden summer day out of nowhere. It's really weird.
That is interesting.
Always leading up to it. If you look in the skies, it's been very strange skies the past week, and all of a sudden here we are with 80 degrees. Yeah, man. So, is there a lot of callers? Do you have to move on?
I do have a few callers out there. I've got to grab them. So, but thank you. Well, you can call back. I mean, who knows? I may pick you up. You're one of the only people that is actually calling from a Beverly Hills area code. So I think I've gotten 2 during my entire time here, and you're one of them. So I'll look for you.
Someone else has called. I'm gonna have to figure out who that other one is.
Yeah, I know, because you guys, there's only like 50 of you guys. So
30,000 people.
You all know each other. It's like, oh right, yeah. Whatever.
It's a small town.
Well,
there's a mayor. There's actually its own separate city with its own mayor and school system, and you actually don't even have to separate the recyclables from the garbage. They do that for you.
Don't. Yeah, this is not something you really want to advertise. So.
You don't have. That's the best part, in my opinion.
It's like the mailman puts fresh croissants in your mailbox. I know all this the stuff that goes on.
They better, man, for this taxes we're paying.
Whatever. That's great. That's your cover. It's like, we deserve it. Okay. All right, man. I will. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's jump over to another call, and what I'll do is I'll try to hold. I've only got like 9 minutes left in this section, and I will reboot the phone lines when you guys are. Well, I was going to pick up California, or out of 510, but I'm not. Now I'm going to have to pick up Texas. So let's pick up Texas, and hopefully it's 254. Ready? 254 area code, Texas. Are you there?
What's up, Mike?
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, wow, it is so freaking choppy. You know what? I don't want to waste this. So let me do this. Is it okay if I put you back on mute and then reboot the phone lines now? Because the phone line I'm connected to is just terrible. Is that okay?
Can you hear me better?
No, it's not you. It's not you. It's the line that I've plugged in. Like you ever pick up a call like on a landline and it's really, really crappy and you're trying to talk to your parents? Yeah. And it's like, oh man, can I call back? And you call right back and everything's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's do that. So give me a second. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll lose you for a second, but I shouldn't lose everybody else. So what I'm going to do, guys, we're going to do this live. Let's see how it works. We're going to go into here, and we're going to go into here, and we're going to say, we're going to disconnect the phone line, and I should be still on with everything. So disconnect that, and that line is gone. And then I'm going to call it back. This is tech support in motion right here. Let's see if this works. We're going to plug it back in. There's the phone number. We're going to call and say, do you want to add to group? Yes, I do want to add to group. So we're just adding to group right now, and the group thing is in. So now I get to find out if it's actually worth a damn. And so I'm just going to pick up, you know what? Let's pick up that Washington, D.C. one real quick. Oh, no, let's pick up Texas again. Here we go. Ready? Texas, Texas, Texas. Are you there?
Can you hear me better?
That's way better. Oh, thank God. I don't know. You know, you'd think, because I've had to deal with that for years and years and years. Usually, I mean, starting with landlines, that's something we've all grown up with if you're over a certain age. You don't get it on cell phones because it automatically rotates. But on landlines, we've all done that. It's like, wow, what a crappy line. Call back. And then it clears it up. That's what you do. So, sorry. Do go on. You have time. What's up?
It's all good. Hey, it's me, Shannon. You know, I call you quite often.
Yes, you do.
I was curious, what are your thoughts on this idea that the plane's running on compressed air?
Wow. Yeah, several people have not several, a whole bunch of people have brought up the compressed air. If you guys don't know what the latest conspiracy is out there, and I shouldn't say it's the latest conspiracy because who knows what the latest one is, but it's that jet planes really don't use any fuel once they get to a certain RPM range. You know, the engines are basically running on their own, and that they're not using anything. And here's my take on it. First off, I'd like to say that it warms my heart that conspiracies like this exist now, because I know they're a side effect of flat Earth. Because flat Earth completely opens your mind up to everything. You know, there's no
question everything.
Oh yeah, it does. Literally, I mean, that's what I put in I have several slides that say that. You know, question everything, and memes that say question everything, and I totally get that it's a side effect, and so now people are opening their mind. No conspiracy is off the table. Everything's fair game now. So, and hang on, the Peanut Gallery wants to mention something. Nope, I can testify because I know about turbines. Yeah, he says he's going to say the same thing I am, and that's it's an interesting thought, but unfortunately, I know quite a bit about airplanes and turbines and all that, and they do use fuel. Now they use a lot less fuel. It's kind of like cars. You know, most of your gasoline in cars is when you're going from 0 miles an hour up to whatever your speed is, and then when you get to cruising speed, you hit the cruise control, and you know it balances out, and it tries to maximize your fuel. Same thing with jet engines. When you're taking off, I mean, you're taking off like a freaking rocket. Get up to cruising altitude, and then it uses less fuel as your. But think of this. Think of if you listen to the shows I've done with pilots and air traffic control, think of how pilots are concerned about fuel at every given moment. So if they can even chop off 2 or 3 minutes off their flight, they're going to do it, because that's where the airlines make their money, is fuel. That is by far and away their biggest consistent cost is they're burning through fuel.
Well, that is true. But, you know, we see them fueling up. We see them, you know, fueling up the plane and putting it, like, I guess in a wing kind of or whatever.
Yeah. All the fuel's in the wings. The wings for any aircraft are just hollow. There's big gas tanks.
So say they are worried about this fuel thing, and what if some of them are, what they're putting in the wings is actually possibly what we call chemtrails, and they think they're running on fuel, and I
get you. I love the open-mindedness of it. I really, really do. I disagree with it, but at the same time, if I'm wrong, and you know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But again,
right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, from my understanding, the air compression, like, there's vehicles that do it, but they can't go very fast. So in my opinion, you know, for a plane, it would be very limited. Like, I don't think they would be able to maybe maintain the speed to fly.
Yeah, it would be. Plus, there would be certain things like you could keep bombers in the air, like B-52s or B-1s or B-2s or whatever. You could keep those things in the air for way longer than normal. Long distance aircraft wouldn't even bother to stop to refuel. Even commercial airliners, you wouldn't
Unless
have.
they're just a facade, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
The technology, it's very possible.
Hey, I'm not completely ruling it out. I'm not. It's really interesting concept, and by the way, don't just think of airplanes. Think of cruise missiles, or any sort of missile technology that's using turbine, things that would increase their range. Long way. But again, I love the concept. I love the fact that people are running with it. And again, question everything. Love it. And this is going to happen from time to time. People are going to question things that they normally would not. And other things that run.
I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful that people are just coming up with new ideas of, what about this? What about that?
Oh yeah, the peanut gallery is saying he goes. Wait, there's turbines in helicopters, tanks, and the Batmobile. So like, oh yeah, I guess. So I love it. I love it. Look, and it doesn't surprise me. Some things I like more than others, like no trees on flat Earth. Love that concept. And we wouldn't, nobody would have touched that with a 10-foot pole 3 years ago. This one, not as much. I don't like this one as much, mostly because it's kind of minor. It's like, well, a jet fuel conspiracy that may be linked to chemtrails. It's not bad, but it's not in my top 10 as far as things I can, really, get my teeth into. Anyway, you got about 30 seconds till the music kicks in. Do you want any shout outs, anything before I send you back off?
I love my husband, son, and mother-in-law. They're got my back with this whole flat earth. And thank you for doing what you do. Also, I just wanted to put this buzz in your ear. You may have already heard it, but
yeah, well,
they arrested 2 guys in Texas for the conspiracy theorists that were threatening the preacher from that church in
oh wow,
that town. I can't remember where the shooting was at the church.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get worse. Hopefully we don't. Oh, hey, the music's.
I mean, it could be a couple of planted guys.
Yeah.
To make us look bad. Just saying.
Maybe. All right. Hey, we'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Have a great night, y'all. Love everybody.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 4. It is a call-in show. Phone numbers are 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998 or 720-897-6111. Got some callers on the line, but if you want to call in, by all means, do give me a call. And Peanut Gallery says, mention the Texas church for reference to the last caller. And I knew nothing about this. First Baptist Church in rural Sutherland Springs, Texas. Yep. I mean, I don't keep up on every little thing that happens every second, but I do check out the big ones I check out, of course, are CNN, Fox, NBC News, and RT.com, which is Russia Today. So there you go. Before I pick up this one, I'm going to pick up one from Arizona here in a second. I want to read during the last break, a quick email came in. I want to let you guys know what it's called. Submarine Navigation Guy. And it's pretty short. Mark, I spent over 12 years in submarine navigation, planning, and operation. I received many personal awards for my knowledge and experience on the subject of navigation. The Earth is flat, he says in all caps. Mercator charts are only for sailors. They are distorted intentionally for mariners to make calculations such as deduced reckoning, set and drift, course over ground, speed over ground, etc. Great circle routes are always curved on Mercator projection charts. Pilots use comical charts because they work. But you already know this. Love your show. Very respectfully, Sean Thomas Stark. Cool. Thank you for that. From Submarine Navigation Guy. Awesome. All right. Let's go into, that's why, I'm sorry, Peanut Gallery was referencing that church. Oh, of course that's why they got in trouble, because that was the church that supposedly, wow, I had completely forgotten that thing had even happened. That was another one of those mass shootings, apparently, where 26 people died in a church, and there was no pictures of it, and I don't know if there was anybody wounded, and they got the guy, they shot the guy right when he walked out, supposedly. Okay, let's move on. Let's pick up Arizona. It's going to be 520 area code. 520, you are on live with Strange World. Scott, can you hear me? He's not hearing me. All right, 5 seconds. I'm going to put you back on mute, if that's okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's pick up Fayetteville, North Carolina. 910 area code. Let's try that one. 910 area code. You are on live with Strange World. Are you there?
Yes.
Thank God. All right.
My name's. I think people are listening to you stream names.
I think they are.
Delay or whatever.
That's okay. What do you got?
I'm a investigator in North Carolina. I'd prefer not to say what capacity, but you kind of notice little things when you start researching. What I have noticed, if someone comes to you with something that's totally asinine, I mean, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I mean, just make something up. You know, if they look at a tire and they tell you it's square.
Right.
Are you even going to argue with them about it?
No. Because
exactly.
It gets so far out there, you think they're
a lot of people. Yeah. And my point is, if you look at YouTube videos and you look at the comments, it's almost like people are getting paid, or for whatever reason, they're targeting these videos and they're being really negative and they're trying to argue something that they think is asinine, which I think doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you think something is totally ludicrous, why are you going to argue that fact or argue, that subject?
It's because Flat Earth does something that I have never seen with any other conspiracy, which is why when I did Flat Earth Clues, I said that, look, I know people that will tell you straight to your face that every member of the royal family is a lizard. And if you come back at them and say, oh yeah, and the earth is flat, and they'll go, get the hell out of here. They'll tell you to leave the room. And that's because Flat Earth is part of a conditioning system that goes all the way back to their childhood. So it resonates, it ripples back in time in their memories. And I think the analogy that I came up with, the adoption thing, is pretty spot on, which is like telling somebody when they're like in their 30s that you think they are adopted. Right? And of course, what's their first reaction? It's like they're not even going to give you the time of day, or they're going to get angry and think that you're just an idiot. And then eventually, and it does not matter. It's like, how does this affect me? It's like that. Who would care? Well, it doesn't matter until you start believing it. The second it even enters your mind, it's like, wait, am I adopted? Once that goes into your head, then all of a sudden you start reevaluating every conversation you ever had with your parents, going all the way back to when you were 6 years old. That is why they get. Take it even easier. The 5 stages of acceptance. If the conflict is big enough that you throw into somebody's life, the 5 stages are always predictable: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. And Those first two, I mean, I'll steal from the Matrix movie reference. I'll steal from the Matrix, which is denial is always the most predictable human response to everything. The first thing is always, it's like, no way, BS, get out. You know, they don't want to hear it.
I'm not on board. I'm not on board with. I don't know what we live on, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I started off like you. I first heard about it, and I think I heard about it through Rob Skiba because I'd gotten into, Genesis 6 and things like that.
Sure.
But then, when that came up, I was like, man, this Rob has gone off. He has really gone off the deep end. But then, just to kind of satisfy my own curiosity, I said, well, let me just look at some things and, satisfy what I think is true.
Right.
I couldn't find anything legitimate. I mean, I found a lot of, Photoshop and, different things, but
I
really
remember.
couldn't find anything,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I
couldn't find anything legitimate. And I'll say one more thing too.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran, and I was in Somalia, and that's over 20 years ago. But I remember, where Mogadishu's not far away from the equator. And I don't know what model would fit this, but I can just remember when I was there, when we had full moons, they were super bright, and it just seemed bigger than here in North Carolina. I don't know if that has anything to do with the model of the flat Earth that you
maybe,
or people are experimenting with, but
science.
It just always seemed that way to me. I can remember, just thinking, man, it just looks so much bigger over here.
Yeah, you got a point. Science still has a hard time trying to figure out or explain to people why a full moon looks so much bigger near the horizon than it does like up in the sky. They don't even know why that happens. I mean, it's like everybody sees it. It's like, wow, that moon's huge. And then when it's up in the sky, when it's way right above you, you're going, it could be perspective, but science doesn't have a good explanation for it. It's just one of those things. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, the Peanut Gallery just sent me a quote for you. So don't leave yet. The quote for you is, this kind of sums up what you and I were going back and forth about, which is, a man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. That's from Mark Twain.
Well, there you go.
There you go. There it is.
Anyway, man, good talk. I appreciate you picking up. I've actually just started listening to you while I do surveillance. But anyway, I got to go on a call.
Okay.
Take care, Mark.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
Right, bye.
As the alarm thing is going off in the background. That's awesome. All right, let's jump right over to Illinois. I think it's 331 area code. Illinois, 331. Are you there, or are you just listening?
I am there.
Hey, what do you want to talk about?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. What do you want to talk about?
Okay. I just started listening to your show, and kind of like everybody else, I'd heard about this a couple of years ago and laughed about it. I thought it was the, dumbest thing I'd ever heard, and
sure.
I listened to people like, Richard Hoagland and his talk about hyperdimensional physics and all this stuff, and other physics, other physicists, and, talking about gravity and trying to find a unifying theory and all this stuff. And, when I heard this, I was kind of like, I should check it out before I, laugh too much harder about it. And, when I started reading the basic, clues and things like that, I was just, I was amazed. I was like, it made total sense to me. I don't know what I was, why I didn't, come to the same conclusions a lot sooner, but, I guess I just didn't, think about it. But, when you talk about that and talk about the, NASA and its, refusal to admit to any truths about what they know or don't know. Funny thing is, I have a friend that, his dad worked for both Area 51 and various contractors and NASA during his years, and he actually did a show with Mel Fabregas on his podcast, and he discussed, his dad's life and what he, saw when he was there at various places, mostly working with rockets and things like that. But, I discussed with him about how NASA has problems, with truth and I think we all know that. He said his dad and the engineers that worked there with him, contractors, that it was really common knowledge that there was something at least related to aliens and UFOs and things like that they were not they all knew about this. But I of course have brought up all sorts of things, including the possible hoaxing of the whole Apollo situation. And I didn't know this until probably a couple of weeks after I had said this. That another friend of mine that I talked to said, dude, you're gonna have to really stop talking about NASA like that with his father. you're crapping all over his legacy.
Right. Hey, by the way, how many dogs do you have? It seems to be
I've got one really loud dog that I
that's just it. That's one dog.
That's one dog
Holy
of the two, and he'll get the other one going. Sorry.
Wow.
I
Okay.
don't know if you can hear that or not.
I'm
trying to keep my train of thought while it's all going on.
I'm impressed because I was like going, holy smokes! It sounds like a pound is in there.
Yeah, it's a Shiba. He's a 60-pound Shiba. Anyway, so he just the whole thing is that discussing this with my friends, I get mostly a lot of derision and kind of oh, they've gotten to him, he can't we can't trust him with anything anymore, but it really, to me, it's like, and I don't really care. I mean, I could care less what people think of me personally. If they they think I'm a nut job, that's just fine. I've never been worried about following my own path, but I don't know how it is with people in your personal life, but like family members and all that. My wife and daughter, are both kind of humoring me. I think it's the best word I can use for it.
Yeah. I mean,
to discuss it with them.
Yeah, mine are kind of split down the middle. Some, and that's what I would expect. Some like it and some don't, because it's really, really polarizing. And I hear that from a lot of other people with emails and phone calls and saying, oh yeah, some of my family members, they're on board. Others, they are just not having any of it. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Well, I can't personally go outside and look at the sky the same way I did, a couple weeks ago. I mean, and I've always been, looking at the sky, wondering what's going on up there, and saying to the moon, we're going to figure it out. We're going to find out what you're up to at some point here real soon. So you just, you keep shining back at us and all that. But one thing I just wanted to discuss with you was the whole thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about the Earth being a pear shape now?
Oblate spheroid. Yeah. And hey, just so you know, I'd love to, keep going and talking a whole bunch of things, but unfortunately it's a call-in show and there's other people that are.
Okay. Well, that was just the last thing I wanted to say.
Okay. The Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. Yeah. When he brought it up to the university group, he really was digging himself a hole because it was on video. And he said that, and I'm not going to do it verbatim, but he said that the Earth isn't a sphere, it's an oblate spheroid. And then he could have stopped there. But then he said, and not only is it oblate spheroid, but it's pear-shaped. It's bigger below the equator than it's above the equator, which is amazing because everybody, when you look at any NASA photos that have ever been released or any composites, they're always pixel perfect spheres. They're absolutely perfect spheres. Okay. So what's he talking about?
How does he explain?
Oh, he explains that because he says that mathematically he's correct, meaning that from a math standpoint, it's an oblate spheroid, and that below the equator it's slightly bigger than it is above the equator. But from our perception,
well, what's causing that though?
He didn't say why.
Causing that bulge?
He just says that's how.
Like there's.
That's how
gravity
it was formed.
Is selectively making it fatter.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Gravity's making it selectively fatter, and gravity knows which way is up and which way is down.
Right.
Even though it supposedly pulls evenly to the center.
Yeah, something to that effect. Yeah, but that's going to haunt him for some time.
That drives me nuts. I mean, it's just these guys are supposedly the smart ones, and we're just sitting here. Listening to this crap, and we're supposed to agree with it. And
yeah,
I don't know. Something's wrong with this world. He's the standard bearer for science. I don't know.
He's good on stage. I mean, he is not loved by the physics community, and I've said it before. He's a cross between Bill Cosby and Sinbad the comedian. I will say that when he's on stage, he could do that with anything. He could be doing an infomercial and just nailing it, as well as doing this. He could talk about any topic. Other physicists don't like him though, because
I've seen him on the commercials, and I don't think he's funny at all. And
it's not funny. He's got a certain charisma to him. He speaks well enough, and he's animated well enough that it comes off. Look, compared to all the other dry, really boring physicists out there, he's pretty much the rock star of anybody in that community.
I've been listening to Nassim Harriman, and he's anything but dry and boring. That's for sure. He's a breath of fresh air, as far as I can see, with the physics models, and I won't bore you with that. But if you ever get a chance, you should look at what he's doing, because his work on unifying theory is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I will check him out. So, anyway, I got to run, but it was nice talking to you.
Thanks for picking up. I appreciate it. Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
We'll talk again.
Night.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's run to 231 area code. Looks like Big Rapids, Michigan. Are you there, or are you just listening? And they hung up. Lots of people are calling in and just listening. I don't mean to freak you out when I pick up the phone. Just call the other number. I should give it out one more time. The other number, if you just want to listen, is 641-793-7117. 641-793-7117. Let's go to Minnesota. All right, 612. Who are you?
Hey, Mark, West States Flat Earth News Talk. Wait for it. Go. There we go. Much more like a Skype sigh. Much better.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually winding up for that one.
Yes. I actually recorded it, and I got it on my other phone, and I was going to play it, but as usual, somebody went and hung up, and then you went to me, and I'm like, damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was weird. They literally, I just scared them. And
that's what happened last week, dude. Almost three weeks in a row that I've called, the person ahead of me has hung up.
That's weird.
Figure that one out.
That's weird. I have a quote for you already.
Yeah.
The quote is,
I'm sure.
The whole value of solitude depends upon oneself. It may be a sanctuary or a prison, a haven of repose or a place of punishment, a heaven or a hell, or as we ourselves make it. That's awfully flowery for the peanut gallery.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was a quote. I started to fall asleep. Yeah. Jeez, that is long.
Wow. That's from John Lubbock. So, yeah. What?
John Lubbock. Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Love John Lovett.
Not John Lovitz.
Oh, I thought you said John Lovett.
No. No, this one is Lubbock. Anyway, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, nothing much. Just working hard. But I did have wanted to comment on what they were saying, what the other guy was talking about with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that one. And I don't know if anybody's seen it. Probably not. It's not the greatest movie. He's in Zoolander 2.
I've seen it. In fact, not only is he in Zoolander 2, he is in surprisingly strategic positions to where this is the part that threw me, because I was a big fan of the first one. In Zoolander 2, the very last scene in the movie, the last thing you see is Neil deGrasse Tyson turning at you with those rainbow colors around him. That's just, it's amazing.
I've seen that too, and I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Well, that just confirms it. Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson, people, is not a scientist. He's an actor.
He's an actor. Look at the stuff. Look at him on IMDb, the roles he's had since 2016. There are big-time actors in Hollywood that would love. I mean, some of these are choice little cameos. And he doesn't even have to. He always plays himself. He never plays anybody else. Yeah, and they make sure they get in his name on top of it. Oh, it's Neil. In this one, what was that line from in Zoolander? It was like, "I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch." Seriously, that's verbatim the line. It's like, wow, really? You're gonna let him do that? And it's Zoolander. What's he doing in that movie anyway?
I know. The one thing I will say about the movie, okay, we know Zoolander's not the greatest movie.
No.
But I'm telling you, the first one and second one, there's just a lot of funny parts in it. That's about it. That's all I'll say about it.
There's a reason why they made a sequel.
But I'm looking at it. Yeah, but I'm looking at it and I'm seeing another satanic thing, and I'm like, what? Really, a ritual? Come on.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were poking fun at conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, they do that from time to time. So it happens.
Well, anyhow, I'm not going to take all your time up. So I usually, like I said, I am the expert of nothingness, so I have nothing to say.
Oh, well, thanks, man. It's always good to hear nothing from
problem.
you, by the way.
There you go. Hey, new quote. You know what? Hey, I think you should put that down. Yes, so Peanut Gallery, go ahead and write that down. Call that a quote from Mark Sargent.
Oh, what? It's always good to hear nothing from you?
There you go. It's a great quote.
T-shirt. Someone put that on a T-shirt. All right.
That'd be terrible if that's all you were
I know,
remembered
that's all I'm
by.
going to be. No, I'm known for a few other things, and I hate to think what I'm going to be known for this year. So.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Mark. Well, you take care.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Okay, we are going to pick up New York, but since we only got about 90 seconds before the break, we're going to hold off on that one. So 914 area code, you're going to have to hang on to the break, and then we will pick you up afterwards. And phone number to call in for everybody else to get in line is 213-233-3998, 213-233-3998, or 720-897-6111. And for all the people that are calling in and listening, just so you know, and I know who you are up there, you could always just call in 641-793-7117, and then you won't even show up on my board. But that's okay. No worries. I'm not going to judge. I don't have time for an email either. I'm so sorry that I would like to read this email, but it's about 2.5 minutes long to read that one. So... other than that, also I'm going to be on Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes tomorrow on Patricia Steer's channel. We haven't done that in a little while. So that is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. It'll be at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, if you want to check that out. And don't forget the Flat Earth Conference, the American Conference, is going to be in November. You can go to fe2018.com. I'm going to be speaking at that. And it's going to be in Denver, Colorado. Remember, last year's was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Huge success. This one's going to be in Denver, Colorado. Can't wait. Should be a lot of fun. And media's already jumping on this stuff. In fact, media's been jumping on the Canadian one really heavy. And we don't even have the schedule for that thing laid out yet. So anyway, Coming back in 3 minutes. Stick around.
Hi everyone, it's Chris Gio here, founder of
Wherever you are, make it Truth Frequency Radio.
Major Kong. Major Kong. I'm ready to target the ICBM complex at Laputa. Switch all receiver circuits to CRM discriminators. What's cooking on the threat board? Nothing. Alright, tell you what you better do, old buddy. You better give Elmo and Charlie a blast, man. Bump everything up to condition written. Stand by the floor on your Major Kong. Major Kong. Hey, what about Major Kong?
Clear and plain and coming through fine.
What about
It's great to be fine.
What about Major Kong?
What's happened? You see the string in my legs, Carl.
What about Major Kong?
I never told you.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. We're doing call-ins, and let's just get right to it. We were waiting for a call from 914 area code out of New York. Let's grab them. 914, you're on live with Strange World. What are we talking about?
Hey, Mark. How you doing? It's Chris in Westchester.
Hey,
Westchester
doing well.
County here in New York.
Doing well.
How are you? All right, excellent, excellent. Give a shout out to everybody out there. You know, especially out in North Carolina out there in Zulu One with this chat room. It's fantastic. I love it.
Cool. Right on.
Everybody's getting together. You know, it's terrific. What I want to do, what I want people to do themselves here. I mean, even on the East Coast, West Coast, whatever. What I want, because here in the East Coast we have a lot of mountains in New York.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's very difficult to focus in on the sun when it's going down on the horizon.
Right.
But if you're out in Long Island or anything like that, I want somebody to get a P900, you know, and just zoom in on that sun while it's not really the horizon. We don't know it goes over the horizon. It goes, you know, into the distance, obviously, on a flat Earth. But on speculation, don't get me wrong.
No, that's okay.
No,
keep going.
All right. I'm just putting this out there.
Sure.
And just focus in on that sun, you know, just setting out there.
Yeah.
And try to get it. Unfortunately, here we have so many chemtrails and all that other nonsense that just obscure the sun when it's going down the horizon. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, that's good. We need more sun footage. I mean, there's been some good stuff out there that DITRH does and Zeteticism.com and a few others, but we need more sun footage. It's the least. Everybody else likes focusing on stars and moon and other things, but yeah, I hear you. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I mean, a lot of people have to focus in on that one, and we're going into another nor'easter here in New York.
I heard that.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
I'm watching the snow come down right now as we speak, and I hope, you know, what I tell people, prepare. You know what? The night before, fill your tank up with gas. That's all I say.
Right.
You know, if there's a big storm coming in, fill your tank up with gas. Do what you got to do. Get your food.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always made. You know, I wrote that survival guide, which I offer free to people. I did it after Katrina. I wrote it. It's 100 pages called Empty Shelves. And I say, anybody that wants a free survival guide, it's mainly for Americans because Americans are notoriously lazy about prepping anything. And it's hypocritical. It's like, look, you get insurance, you get life insurance and home insurance and car insurance and dental and all this other crap. And yet you won't spend freaking $50 and put, some canned food. I'm not even endorsing whatever it is. Just get some canned food, some canned water, some batteries, a flashlight or two, and then I don't know, something to protect yourself with, whatever it is. Put it off in the corner. You'll never have to think about it again. But most people don't because it's got that negative connotation to it. It's like, oh, what are you prepping for? Something really horrible, like the end of the world? Freaking paranoid nut job. It's like, no, man. It's like, look, it happens.
No.
It's like, look,
It's
Katrina happened.
Sense. I mean,
I'm sorry. The reason I wrote that. The reason I wrote that was because when Katrina happened, so the whole city evacuates, right? And only half of them came back.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the people that came back, most of them still didn't get a freaking thing of water and batteries and stuff. It's like, look, you were just chased out of your own city under really bad conditions. You still won't prep? Oh, killing me. Anyway, so that's why I wrote it. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just get that little generator from from your local Walmart or whatever it is.
Anything.
I mean, it powers your cell phone. I mean, anything.
Anything. I mean, let's put it this way.
There it is.
If you have to pull the batteries out of your television remote to get a flashlight working in your house, you got some problems. It's like,
yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
There's stuff out there that's cheap. In fact, you don't even have to think about it. You can buy, kits that they sell, 36-hour, 72-hour kits. That's better than nothing. I don't get me started. I mean, I literally sat down and wrote 100 pages on this just because it was driving me so insane.
Oh, I could imagine. I could only imagine. And but everybody in the in the flat Earth, I don't want to say society. I don't want to say conspiracy. I just want to say who believes in the flat Earth itself. Are I mean they're looked upon as cults. The only cult that I'm looking at right now is the people that are surrounding me.
There you go.
That don't even understand the flat Earth. That's the cult that I see. And so if we're looked upon as a cult, I don't know.
Yeah. So far, we've kind of avoided the cult label, as from mainstream. In fact, I thought that BuzzFeed was going to finally do it when they were interviewing us down at Raleigh, because he was saying that that was the angle. He told me that was the angle he was going to use. And he changed his mind and turned it as like, okay, why do flat Earth people believe the way they do? But beforehand, he absolutely was going to turn it into a Jim Jones type of thing. And so far, we've avoided that mostly because we haven't done anything really negative. I mean, you haven't, flat Earthers don't blow up post offices and hold buses hostage and crap like that. It's a really optimistic group of people. We write songs and make T-shirts.
And exactly, and people are taking it the wrong way. I mean, a cult is a bunch of people coming together and hunkering down in a mansion somewhere.
Right.
I mean, that's the cult. I mean, the only cult that I see around me are people that believe that they live on a ball and that they're spinning around and whatever. I can go on and on and on and whatever. But I mean, I'm just saying, it's insane. That's the cult that's been indoctrinated with everybody that we've gotten out of. So,
right.
There you go. I just threw it out there on the table.
No, that's cool. Anything else? Because unfortunately, it is a call-in show, and I do have to pick up some other people. What?
No, I understand. I thank you for taking my call.
Hey,
right? I just want to say hi to everybody out there. Who's subbing and just saying hi to me on my channel, or whatever. Yeah.
Right on. Do you want to do a plug? You want to say what your channel is?
Yeah, I mean, you get a chance, stop by CC on YouTube, whatever.
Okay, cool.
But I appreciate it, Mark. Taking my call. Right?
You have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so let's jump right over to another New York call. This one's 845. 845, you are on live with Strange World right now.
Hello, Mark. How are you this evening? Mark from New York.
I am doing fine, Mark from New York. What's on your mind this fine evening?
Not much. I like Cece's idea of getting some pictures from Long Island, but I think it'd be sunrise, right? Because that's East Coast.
Right, really East Coast would be sunrise. It wouldn't be sunset. Good point. I mean, you could look west.
That'd be awesome.
And you might be able to find something.
Yeah, I think a nice sunrise shot.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be really awesome.
Yeah. So,
that church that you mentioned,
right?
The real one.
The church, the church shooting thing that I had completely forgotten about.
Yes, in Texas.
Right.
Yes. because that one allegedly was stopped by an NRA instructor who had his rifle.
Right.
And
If you
I was
believe,
like, they don't usually report. Yeah, they don't usually report those.
No, they don't, and it didn't get a lot of lingering press either. So
no.
Yeah. I should probably.
Hey, I wanted to start off with a quote from Thomas Jefferson. Laws that forbid the carrying of arms only disarm those who are neither inclined nor determined to commit crimes. Such laws make things worse for the assaulted and better for the assailants. They serve rather to encourage than to prevent homicides, for an unarmed man may be attacked with greater confidence than an armed man. That's Thomas Jefferson.
And that particular quote, and it's an excellent quote from Thomas Jefferson, the modern Reader's Digest version of it, and I'm sure you know because it's a bumper sticker, and that is, if you criminalize guns, the only people that will have guns are criminals.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because remember, you're the bad people, they don't go through normal channels. They don't.
Right. So. Absolutely. And it's funny because that was one of the things. I went to the CDC because I was wondering, people always say we got to trust the government and all this. And I stumbled onto an article that Barack Obama had spent millions of dollars to get the CDC to show that firearms are dangerous and you shouldn't have them and it's ridiculous.
Right.
And they proved the opposite. Right. And it's ironic how they were saying basically, it's like, how you have the mentality, even if we save one, okay, but then 5 die or 10 die if you take out suicides.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you really saving anyone? And then I noticed that Texas, which has pretty easygoing gun laws, and California, that has the strictest gun laws, have the same amount of gun deaths.
Yeah.
What is that? And gun deaths don't even fall in either state's top 10 causes of death.
For me, let me wind up on a little rant for you for this one. You've inspired me just now.
Okay.
Because I know you've got your opinions on gun laws and gun rights, and I know where you're coming from. And here's my rant that should help you sleep better. And that is, my statement goes a little something like this. You will never have to worry about gun seizures and people taking guns away, going house to house and gun rights being ripped away from us. And the reason is, and I'm old enough to remember this, is that the foundations for the big assault, let's call it assault weapon craziness, were forged decades ago. And I was right there in the glorious middle of it when it happened. For those of you who don't know, how we got to this point where, you have shootings and then people, Jimmy Kimmel comes on and attacks the NRA and, the new, CNN goes after Trump, blah, blah, blah. It all started with, and you may remember some of this, Mark, because I probably said this in different shows. It started with, who I'm going to blame? I'm going to blame Clint Eastwood. Back in the day, if you guys know the Dirty Harry movies, the whole reason this whole assault weapon thing started was because of him. And it wasn't, I don't know if he wrote the line or if it was just a writer's thing, but what he did was he used that giant, Smith & Wesson revolver in the movie. And, did I fire 6 shots or only 5?
44 Magnum.
Yeah. Well, since this is a 44 Magnum, the world's most powerful handgun, and can take your head clean off. It was the first time in a movie where he's actually doing an endorsement for it, but it wasn't like they were endorsing Smith & Wesson because they didn't mention it by name. He was mentioning it because it's like, we have to make a point. I'm holding a really big gun, and it's not just a movie gun. It's a real gun. You can buy it at your gun shop right now. And when they did that, they couldn't keep the damn things on the shelves. People were like coming in, give me the Clint Eastwood gun, whatever. This is a ridiculously oversized revolver. And as you know, with anything in America, once the gold rush starts, it never stops. So other companies are like, well, hell, how can we get our guns into movies? And so this symbiotic relationship started in the early 80s where gun manufacturers were pushing, just giving them to them. It's like, the weapons masters in Hollywood, the guys that
use these.
Yeah.
Right, use these.
Yeah. And they were making new ones for Hollywood. It's heck, forget what we got in our normal product line. Let's just start pushing out the crazy stuff. Let's bring out, belt-fed rifles and drum-fed shotguns, and let's bolt shotguns underneath. And you could see it in movies like, movie reference like Predator. The original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that big cast. Every one of them had different, it was completely, everyone had ridiculous weapons, right? Like an AR-15 with a Remington 870 bolted underneath it and little grenade launchers and all sorts of weird stuff. And I got to tell you that it got so bad that I was buying, when I was buying the periodicals to see, I was like, what nutty stuff are they going to come up with next, right? And it was bad. You're talking to a guy that used to sign his annuals, because I was a big gun and fireworks guy. I would sign Guns and Bombs Forever. Sometimes, love and kisses, Mark Sargent. I was starting I was starting to say, you know what? Maybe we should take this back a notch. Kind of like you go to one of those parties where it's getting amped up, and all of a sudden you see some guys with cans of gasoline and road flares heading towards the swimming pool. And you're going, yeah, we should probably kind of take your foot off the gas a bit here, because it's getting nutty. And then, let me continue the rant for just another minute or two. Then here's what happens, right? So they make for 10 years, a full decade, the gun manufacturers are just putting the stuff out there, right? And we're talking, little companies, so when people go after the NRA, I just laugh, because it's like, you guys are going after the NRA when the companies, it's the companies that are really going after, little companies like, I don't know, Remington, Winchester, Colt, Ruger, Beretta, Smith and Wesson, little companies like that have been around since the Civil War. These guys were making tons of money, because every Hollywood actor that was using these things, actors that weren't relying on their dialogue, like Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they weren't winning Academy Awards. They were shooting a lot of people. And you could buy the civilian version of their gun in the store. So then after that whole decade, this is why the whole thing, you can throw the ATF out the window, is because then they had, and I don't know if you remember going to these, right? The original gun shows, not the 2 tickets to the gun show.
Dude, I went to them at the high school.
Perfect. That's absolutely
how old I am. They were at the high school.
Yeah, they were at high schools, they were at fairgrounds, they were at little parks. It was, for people that don't know what we're talking about here, what happened was, all these guys, so you sell all these nutty weapons for 10 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Let's go to a little swap meet and trade them like Pokemon cards. And so people would go to these fairgrounds, and I'm not kidding you. I remember buying a handgun in 30 seconds. This was back, and what I'm talking about. The guys that would walk around with cardboard signs on their backs saying looking for or selling. Yeah. And this guy was selling, I think, a Ruger P225, I think, for like $350, brand new in the box. I just walked up to him and said, yeah, let's see it. I mean, like, bring out the cash, no paperwork, and that was it. And this happened time and time and time again.
You used to be able to do rifles like that here.
Oh my God, it was
never pistols. Well, not as long as I was alive.
And I remember even just take it a little bit further. I remember when the ATF actually showed up at one of ours. It was at a fairgrounds, east of Seattle. And I remember, we kind of laughed, some of the veteran guys that were there, because they were watching this happen, right? And they're going, holy smokes, there's no paperwork here. There's no paperwork happening. And you had bikers, these shows, you had bikers that were there, off-duty law enforcement, merchant marine, gang members, white supremacists. Everybody was friends. It's because you're just there arming up. And millions and millions and millions of unregistered weapons, which are changing hands. And so I'm sorry, it's too far gone. It is the entrenchment
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen.
Dude, nothing's going to happen. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah,
I
don't think it's that.
There's too much. It's too easy to say there's too much money. There's too many companies involved, big companies that are making money. You are not going to.
Dave, that kind of leads into another conspiracy theory that maybe all this shit is not to even do anything with laws, but to get people to buy more guns.
Maybe. That was something. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, not just because of the money, but because of the anarchy it can cause if they turn the power off and make us go against each other. That it's quicker, we'll eliminate ourselves quicker.
Well,
because I saw people freaking out 2 days after the hurricane came through, and we had power out for 2 days, and they were fighting in line for water and ice, and there was plenty.
Think of it also this way, and then unfortunately I gotta let you go because we've gone too long. It's my fault.
Yep.
Which is this, and that is, if you wanted to create, let's take it the opposite way. You want to create the ultimate militia in this country, a little quiet, shadow militia. How fun is this? Where you create all these great weapons, and then you convince people through movies to arm themselves, and they foot the bill. You don't even have to really spend much money.
No, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Vermont has like the least amount of restrictions, and they have the least amount of gun deaths per capita. Just like that's how they measure it per 100,000.
Yeah, I know.
And they estimated between 500,000 and 3 million lives were saved due to firearms.
Yeah, don't get me started. You already did get me started.
I know.
There's two.
I know. Well, I get mad because I just want to have a conversation, not get yelled at, by people. And it's ridiculous. Just like Flat Earth, they get all excited.
They can get all excited all they want, but I just come to people and say, look, you can talk about gun rights all you want. You are never going to change it now. Obama was in office 8 years. He didn't do anything. You really think something's going to happen during the Trump administration? Good luck. Never going to happen. The money's too big. And one last thing, I'll end on this, and then I got to pick up a call, which is everyone goes after the AR-15, but you remember the military version of what used to be the M16, and now it's called the M4, whatever it is. The military version, we're training millions and millions of guys on this weapon since Vietnam. What do you think they're going to buy when they come back? They're going to buy that gun because they know everything about it. They know how to field strip it. They've slept with it. That's the gun they're going to buy. You're going to go after that gun? Our military weapon, our military battle rifle, it's never, ever, ever, ever going to be pulled out. I mean, I'm telling you, when you were at the gun shows, there's
millions of them.
There's millions of those things
everywhere.
Out there. You're never getting rid of them. But that's fine. You guys want to try? That's fine. And anyway, all right, man. I got to let you go.
All right.
All right.
Love you, man. Have a good one.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, man.
A shout out to everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. All right, we're going to jump right over to 425 area code. 425, you're going to be the last call before we go to break. Are you there?
Yeah, Mark, we running up against the clock?
You got 3.5 minutes.
Okay, so here you go. Mark Sargent. Mark Sargent. You were a valiant, flat earth master warrior, but you finally have met your Waterloo. You flat earthers are finally gotten defeated. And the person who's defeated you is Elon Musk. Because this is what people don't know about what Elon Musk and the spaceman dummy and the roadster is all about.
Okay.
What the real conspiracy is. This is the big conspiracy.
Okay.
That roadster, actually, in the trunk of that roadster, is a trillion kiloton cold fusion bomb. And that spaceman is actually a robot. He's going to fly to Planet X, or some call it a black dwarf star, or a brown dwarf star that's coming at the Earth. He's going to drive it in one of the tubes, drive it down into the black dwarf star, and then he's going to detonate it. And when you see a flash in the sky, then you're going to know the Earth was saved from this Planet X, this black dwarf star. And it's going to be because Elon Musk and the Roadster and the robot spaceman that he used to stop it. That's your Waterloo.
That is brilliant.
Not bad, huh?
That is not bad.
That's a new conspiracy. He's gonna use that Roadster to drive down a lava tube tunnel to take out the black dwarf star. So if you believe that, if anybody can believe that Roadster, I mean, Mark, you got to talk about that for a minute. Oh. That is really, really. I mean, there's so many people that I have talked to about flat Earth, and then when I mention the Roadster, they sheepishly say, "Yeah, well, I saw that," and I said, "You believe that? You really believe?" I didn't say I believe that. But that was their Waterloo, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. No, when I went down to Colorado Springs, and I opened with a whole bunch of slides from the Tesla SpaceX thing, and you're right. There was absolutely, even when I was first sent the link, because I didn't even know really much about the launch before it happened. When I was sent the link, I looked at the link, I was going, oh, Jaron or somebody did some cute little Photoshop thing where they put a car in front of the Earth, and then it's like, wait, that's a real link. That's a CNN link. It's like, holy smokes. And I wasn't the only one that felt that way. There were all sorts of people that weren't flat earthers that felt that way. Because everyone's been sent cute little Photoshop things from their friends, cute little memes involving cats or space or something on the water. But that's what it looked like. It looked like a cheap Photoshop thing or a cheap studio thing. And so everyone started disbelieving. Anyway, did you want to go on after the break?
I'm done.
Okay, cool.
You do great. You do great, Mark. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Hey, nice talking to you. Bye-bye. Nice talking to you. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to our final break, and then when we come back, we'll try to pick up Alhambra, California, maybe 510 area code after that. That's out in California, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. 3 minutes.
No hype, no fear. We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World Part 4. Yes, that was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album Night and Day. This last section is dedicated to all the people that drove out of state to get to the meetup where I was doing my presentation in Colorado. We had a couple people drive in from Kansas and a woman who drove 12 hours from Surprise, Arizona. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. And the quote that I forgot, no, I didn't actually forget. I was too busy doing my rant thing, and I just was overwhelmed. The quote that was for Zulu from Peanut Gallery goes a little something like this. A round man cannot be expected to fit in a square hole right away. He must have time to modify his shape. And that's from Mark Twain. There's also a Thomas Jefferson quote. Heck, let's throw that out there. What country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. And that's from Thomas Jefferson. And let me do my final little thing on the whole question of gun control or not. The thing that bugs me more than anything, let me spend a couple minutes just talking about this real quick, is that the media is jumping on, when the media jumps on this and says, oh, there must be gun control, there must be gun control. And when Hollywood celebrities especially jump on it, because the media is the very organization that created this in the first place. The media was the one that told the United States through movies and television that guns are cool, guns are sexy. You should buy a gun, not necessarily buy guns, but definitely embrace the whole concept of them. They were the ones that, yeah, sure, they may not have said buy the guns directly, but they endorsed the movies that were heavy with body counts, And so, even I was disappointed, like when George Clooney, it's like, oh yeah, he's going to donate to a gun control thing. It's like, look, George Clooney, yeah, he doesn't have a huge body count, but he shot people in a whole bunch of movies with handguns and rifles and so on. So I'm sorry, it's hypocritical for the media to attack the whole issue of gun rights when they were the ones that ramped it up in the first place. You can't ask a population to backpedal from that so quickly after you told them for year after year after year. You've reinforced it. Guns are cool. Guns are cool. Movies are cool. Movies with guns are cool. Television shows, all these cool little things, and then say, well, hey, we're pulling that back. We got to take away your toys. You try to take a toy away from the children? No, I don't think so. Anyway, sorry, that's my little rant. I'm kind of passionate about that. I know a lot about small arms. I know a lot about ballistics. And we created this environment. It's like, look, the media created this bed. Now they got to sleep in it. They're trying to distance themselves. It just drives me insane. Okay, let's see who we got there. Arizona, they're listening. New York is listening. DC is listening. Alhambra, California. I wonder if they're listening or if they want to chat. 626 area code. You're on with Strange World right now.
Hey, what's up, Mark? How's it going, bro?
Hey, man. What's going on in California?
Nothing much. Just checking things out. Talking to a bunch of people about a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Dude, I just bought a keyboard tonight.
like a musical keyboard? You plan on joining a band?
Okay, when I was younger, I was forced to learn how to play the piano.
Oh, okay.
And so I still kind of remember. And I don't know, I just feel like picking it up again. And
cool.
Now I want to learn it. I'm not being forced to. And I just think it'd be fun.
Good. Awesome.
But the guy that I picked it up from, I obviously couldn't help but talk to him about things because for some reason he brought up like satellites or something like that, and I just can't help myself anymore whenever it comes up all the time. Like,
it's all right.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. Like talking to the cable guy, I was talking to him because we were standing underneath the satellite dishes, and I hit him up with like the satellites moving, like zipping around like thousands of miles, and that satellite right there on the side of that house never moving. So how is it keeping track of it? Right. And like kind of threw him for the loop. And he actually told me about something about the fires over here on Mount Wilson. He said that after those fires, they had to replace the fiber optic cables underground.
That's interesting. Wonder why that one. You're thinking because of the blue beams that those suckers could
whatever. I just thought it was interesting, dude. I just thought it was weird. And I started throwing like a couple theories at them. I was like, well, could they have like busted? Like, because when they're closed off, like, doesn't some kind of air get trapped in there, right? And doesn't air expand when it's heated up?
Yeah, but
so like
the whole point of underground lines is that it would be protected from. Look,
that's what I thought.
In forest fires, look, ground isn't exactly the best conductor of heat. Not at those levels. In fact, I've never even heard of something like that.
I talked to someone earlier. I was talking to someone about it, and he was saying that, the ground is like an insulator, but it's also an insulator the other way at the same time. Like, if you have a fire all night, right, and then in the morning, you completely remove all the ash and everything and feel the ground.
Yeah.
The ground where the fire was is still going to be warm and hot. Like,
yeah.
So like what he was saying that once it reaches a certain temperature, it will retain heat as well as it was repelling it before.
Right.
And I thought that was an interesting property. And
That
then
is
another guy, I talked to him about the planes.
Yeah.
Not using fuel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we broke a whole bunch of other things down. And you know what? The math actually works out somewhat. But there's also a couple other things that are kind of interesting when you think about it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there's they were bringing up like the sensors and stuff and how the sensors tell where the gas is in the wings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my argument for that was, well, and I pulled up a picture of like an old airplane, and I was like, so what was this using then?
Right.
Because I guarantee it didn't have all these high-tech laser sensors and crap like that, right? Like,
right. Oh, well,
like they
yeah.
were talking about it having to pump fuel into different places of the wings and stuff like that to balance it out and everything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, okay, so where was that in like 1930, dude?
Yeah.
Because those were some big planes they were flying.
Oh, absolutely. The World War II bombers, for example, long distance.
Well, and I brought up to him, I was like, essentially, isn't like an airplane like the original airplane, the Wright brothers, when they first built theirs, didn't they build it with like a car engine or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't it like a BMW or something?
Yeah. Yeah. They were very the lightest bottom internal combustion engines they could find, whatever they were for. Sure.
And the guy I was talking to, he's actually a pilot from England. He was saying that, you can actually build them with like a 2-stroke engine. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So you could take like a motorbike apart and build a freaking plane?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. Good stuff.
But yeah, dude. That's pretty much what I got.
Okay.
Well, besides the obvious, like freaking SpaceX, because the guy I bought the keyboard off of, he also brought up SpaceX as well, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, SpaceX did crack the suspension of disbelief. No question. There's a lot of people now. They may not believe in flat Earth, but they look at SpaceX, with like a squinty eye, going, "Wait, that's a little cheesy." So.
Yeah, and there was actually a cool video of that just came out recently by I think it was Wide Awake, that where he shows a rocket going up and coming down like within minutes. Like it didn't go over the curve or anything like they say, and it wasn't gradual. When you watch this rocket come down, dude, it looks like it was seriously falling from the sky.
Wow. Wow.
So you should check that one out.
All right. I will check it out if I get a chance. I just get so worked up when I think about it. Because remember, he's not done. He's supposedly going to do another test, this time with some sort of capsule. And
and someone in the chat a minute ago was saying how they're a private company and all that.
Yeah, SpaceX is a private company.
But they were also saying that they should still disclose stuff because they're using the atmosphere. They're doing things in the atmosphere. So they should tell us what they're doing, right? At least.
Yeah, it's tough call. But the bigger question is what you just said, which is why is SpaceX a private company? Then that's because if you're big enough,
a private company, and sorry.
No,
I was gonna say at the same time they're getting like tons of billions of dollars in government like grants, subsidies, and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So I mean, they're seriously making money off of this.
I know. I hate them.
And they're producing cartoons. So
yeah.
But it's kind of weird because then the government knows that they're producing cartoons, and it's like they're just. It just really shows you that there's a bigger plan.
Yes.
There's a bigger plan, and I think possibly Elon Musk is going to be used to help along a really big deception, dude. I think he's like kind of being groomed by the government. But all right, man. Peace out, dude. Have a good night.
All right. See you, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.
All right. Let's grab 510. We still got time for a couple more. 510 area code. You're on with Strange World.
Pittsburgh, California. What's going on?
Pittsburgh, California. Not Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, folks. Actually, Pittsburgh, California. And just to remind people, Pittsburgh, California is located between where and where?
Pittsburgh is between, we're going to say, you got Oakland. You have, you got, I don't know if people are familiar with.
So, well, okay, no, let's do
San
this.
Jose.
What's the, if you had to drive to Oakland, you'd what, go north, south, east, west?
But let's just say this: it's Pittsburgh, California is located over in San Francisco. Over everybody's familiar with San Francisco. So
okay.
You go across the bridge, you got Oakland, and then you cross over a little bit further, and there you go. You got Pittsburgh. I'm sure people are familiar with Berkeley, California as well too. So there you go.
Yeah. So, hey man, what's on your mind this evening?
Okay, so I don't know when it was uploaded, but I know it's pretty new. Mm-hmm. I was listening to the STG report.
Yeah.
With the interview with Bart Sabrell.
Okay.
Appreciate him, but can't stand him at the same time. I'm pretty sure you understand that dichotomy.
Same here. I followed his work. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon, and him interviewing the astronauts and getting punched. Yeah, I know the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I appreciate him from the standpoint of for all the globe Earth believers. I mean, he absolutely believes that we are on the ball, and is some of his one of his reasons that I've heard him, because I believe I heard you mention it before, and he brought up as well talking about lighthouses. The reason that we have lighthouses because the globe, yada yada yada.
Right.
And but it was a really good interview that he did, obviously, and it was recent because he touched on the whole Elon Musk thing and how he was skeptic about that and so on and so forth. And the one thing I appreciated about the guy from the STG report is he brought up the one of Braun Tombstone, and the songs, 19:1.
Mm-hmm.
And here where I feels like, and this is why I want to kind of pick on a particular group that I support. And as you know, it's no secret I myself, consider myself to be a believer of the word and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And for him, I feel like he kind of paints himself in the corner, because you got to ask yourself, well, what do you do when you hear scriptures like that, and are you not going to even take a look at it, because it was funny. He kind of, right when the guy, I don't want to say as soon as he quoted that scripture, but he had brought it up again, the guy at SE Sport, and that's when he brought the whole talking about flat Earth is a whole psyop and so on and so forth. And the reason why I find that so fascinating is that for you to try to sit there and say that that's a government psyop, that's going directly against them.
Right.
It's not bolstering their argument of, well, yeah, we're on a ball. That absolutely, utterly goes directly against them. So to oppose that they are behind that is just laughable to me, because you yourself are saying that if they never went, then if they can't get past low Earth orbit from his investigation, well, then that means that you can't get further enough to get an actual picture shot. And if you can't get an actual picture shot, then everything is questionable from there. And they are the ones who supposedly gave us the picture shot. Yeah. So, my question to him and anybody, in that realm, if you're going to sit there and say that they couldn't go, but yet and still you believe all the photos, and you're telling us not to believe those photos, but you want us to believe everything else, you're kind of painting yourself in a corner. And for those that are believers, I'm going to say this. So, obviously we believe the stories when it said that there were 3 men in a fiery furnace. You believe that, believers. You believe that the Son of Man walked on water, believers. We believe that an animal spoke. And the one that deals with the actual cosmology, we believe that the sun was held still and that the moon moved back on the sundial.
Yeah.
But those things cannot happen if we are supposedly orbiting and moving, because otherwise the question would be why they didn't ask for the Earth to stop moving versus the sun and the moon. So yeah, that's
Good.
that's right.
Nice.
So once again, go ahead. Yeah,
No, it's good. All those things
like
were
I
good.
said, but other than that, but like I said, I do appreciate him being a globalist, because he is a good video to throw at people, because the one thing I keep harking back on, and you brought it up yourself and many others, if people absolutely, utterly believes in the moon missions, well, hey, you might as well go ahead and try to find and talk to somebody else.
Yeah, because it'd take a while for them to. I mean, for the moon missions, for especially in the United States, not so much outside of the United States, but definitely here in America, it's a question of pride. It's like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, right. And it's like, no, we didn't.
Right.
Sorry.
Absolutely. But as always, appreciate the conversation. These are the highlights of my Tuesdays. It just really sets the week off. And enjoyed the other calls before. Shout out to my bro and everybody else, man. I don't want to miss nobody. Okay. And man, keep it flat, Mark. And I missed about the first 5 minutes. The expert.
The Air Force guy. He's having a hard time motivating himself to do it because he thinks he's going to get in trouble. So I'm trying.
I respect it.
Yeah, no. So, some people look. I mean, some of those guys. I don't mind. It's all right. I've got other people in the wings, and we'll get the rest of them before it's through.
All right, good deal. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll keep it flat.
All right, keep it flat, man. Bye-bye. All right, who else can we pick up before we got 7 minutes left in the show. Last chance to call in for anybody that wants to. I'm going to pick up Beverly Hills, even though I'm pretty sure it's a repeat. And then we have 720-897-6111. Or 213-233-3998. Call in. Don't be shy. It's just me and you and everybody else. All right, let's do Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills. Is this a repeat? Is this
Hell no, Mark. It's Dan the Waterman. I'm calling on a different line.
Right on.
I am tripping balls right now.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna tell my story. I mean, you're right. SpaceX isn't done, but NASA is, and I'm going to tell you the story that I told you about briefly about their lost technology that Don Pettit talks about, and about how it's around the corner from my house. I'm going to tell you a true story about how I grew up in this neighborhood. Just north of Los Angeles, where they used to fire rockets all the time. I used to hear it all the time, the rumble of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of used to it, and there's a surplus yard. If anyone wants to look it up, it's called NortonSalesInc.com. Plus, there's YouTube video where you can see everything that's been picked up from auctions over 50 years, and it's been picked through for 50 years. But I'm over there. I think I told you I was over there giving them shit about satellites not being real. And I ran into a guy who was the son of the owner. And to tell you the truth, I'd done business with them to buy some shelving some 40 years earlier. So I'm aware of the business as a surplus place. But it turns out, because of Hollywood and because of other reasons, they ended up hanging on to a lot of surplus rocket stuff. And in fact, you could build a rocket with the stuff there. Go online, you can look it up. And the guy, to prove to me that space was real, tells me that Elon Musk had been there. And I'm thinking, well, you got to be kidding me. How does that prove anything? I said, why was Elon Musk here? And he says, well, he was buying stuff. Now, he showed me a valve that was about the size of a deck of playing cards, and he said they were back engineering it, and he explained how if it had O-rings, it would still be good, and it was worth about $500. And at the same time, though I was bitching that space didn't exist, he points at an engine across the room, which you can see on their website. He said it's worth about $500,000, and it is not a replica, but it's an unused version of the Apollo 11 command module engine. And he points at that and says to me, a guy in the rocket business, says to me, all I know, he says, is that engine's the only rocket engine ever designed to be working over 80 miles high. And I was impressed that he even knew that about it, because I thought he was just a surplus guy. But there's lots of information on it, and in fact, the other stuff that supposedly would have fired in space doesn't come back, so you never would see it. So it is interesting, and an interesting point. In the meantime, I believe that Elon Musk was buying all this surplus crap so it looks like he's building rockets. And this surplus crap is readily available, and it's the same stuff NASA says is long gone. So anyone wants to look, just look at nortonsales.com. The stuff has been picked through for 50 years, so it's not a surprise to me if you don't see everything you're looking for. But I promise you, we could build a rocket tomorrow with this stuff that's no more than a mile from my house here. And lastly, I just wanted to say, Mark, I was watching, Rocket Man, and I noticed something that nobody's really picking up on, is that the moon went by.
I had heard that there was like a frame or two, right?
Yeah, it's longer than that. It went by in the background.
Okay.
So I've long been standing saying, hey, show me a spinning Earth and the moon going around and I'll shut up. And someone brought up the basic fact that Dish Network supposedly used to run a live cam on a satellite of the Earth.
Really?
So I looked it up. There's an 11-minute video there, too, of some archive. Yeah. And sure enough, the moon is going around there, too. Okay. So now we can sort of get some basis of geosynchronous orbit, 22,000 miles. This is what a moon should look like, going around the back, not around the front like that one stupid GIF, but going around the back. You can get some size relevance of the Earth and the distance and the speed. So they're both quite fascinating. One is Dish Network and the other is now Rocket Man. So I was hoping that you could look that up and see what you thought about that, because it's pretty impressive. NASA in all these years has never bothered to show us the fucking moon. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's good.
Think about it, everyone. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Not once, the whole time. Think about it, everyone. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Hey, a pleasure to hear from you, man. You have a good rest of your night, okay?
All right. Shout out to Josh, Jaron, and Morgile, because we should all do something for him. Nobody should struggle.
I hear you. All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and that's going to be the last call of the night. Thank you to everyone who has called in this evening. Thank you for everyone who's been emailing me. Remember, the email address is msargent23@comcast.net. And if I don't read your email here, which most of the time I don't because I just get walls and walls of calls, I will do a Q&A show where I just do dedicated emails. So that's about it. Everybody check out fe2018.com. Don't forget the Canada conference, which is coming up in August. And if anyone wants me to show up at their meetup, just figure out a way to get me out there. If you want to use your miles to do it, that's fine. Hotel would be nice. And I will come out to your meetup and do a little presentation. We'll do an interactive thing. That's about it. So come back next week. I will be here. Same flat time, same flat channel. Bye, everyone.